Back to Viral Crimes with Jocelyn, where no victim is reduced to a headline and no family searching for answers will ever be forgotten on this channel, you guys. Welcome back to Viral Crimes with Jocelyn. Tonight we're discussing the disappearance of Allahnia Lenoir. She was presumed dead, but her body was never found, you guys. So we're gonna go slow with this case. We're not gonna rush it. We're gonna take our time, and we're gonna discuss every aspect of this case that I could find, every news article, not every, but because there was a lot of YouTube out there, but I narrowed it down because yet her body was never found, you guys. So this is very important for us to keep her name alive until she's brought home to her family and her family can find peace. So she was 24 years old. She was from Georgia. And again, her name was Allahnia Lenoir, affectionately known to many of her people as Fruity. On the evening of July 30th, 2022, Allahnia left her family's home in Douglasville County, Georgia. She traveled with two females. They were her friends. Brings me back to my series that I started, Friends or Foe. Are they really our friends? What happened to the buddy system? Who you came with, you leave with? Don't get me started, you guys. Just don't get me started, because I can go down this rabbit hole and it gets me very upset. You know what listen, let me stay focused. So she traveled with two of her female friends to an apartment building in Midtown Atlanta. Everybody loves Midtown. Let me tell you something. It's where it's happening at. Everybody who is somebody is in Midtown Atlanta. Surveillances and building access information reportedly established that Allahnia did go inside of this apartment building, but she was never publicly documented as walking out. But yet her body was never found. So we're going to bring her up again because I don't want her, because this is not about me. This is about this young lady right here. It's about her. And we're trying to figure out what happened to her in that Midtown apartment. What happened to her? So 3 men were eventually charged. One was already in custody. Another allegedly remained on the run for nearly 2 years before game wardens encountered him on a jet ski. What is he doing on a jet ski? The third spent almost 3 years in jail, received bond, and then allegedly failed to appear in court. But despite his arrest, despite an indictment, and despite years of hearings, Allahnia has never been recovered. But yet, they never saw her leave the building. They saw her go in, but they never saw her come out. Now, I do know I've been in many of those condos down there in Midtown. There's a lot of ins and outs. There's a lot of employee access areas only. There is a lot of where they bring in furniture because, they're high rises, so you just can't walk and bring your furniture in. So you got to go around the back where there's oversized elevators and whether or not they have cameras back there, we don't know. But there are many ways to get in and out of those type of buildings down there. I'm sure it's not the only place. I accidentally went into a wrong elevator. They was like, hold up. No, you can't go in there. I'm like, what do you mean? It's right next to but no, those were for employees only. They had where you could actually wheel out. Somebody could have came in and went upstairs, had furniture, came down the oversized one, had, allegedly had her, or I'm just listening, speculation, had her inside of a piece of furniture, whatever. I'm just saying. The way she came out probably was not, the way she came in was probably not the way she was going to come out in this case. So what happened inside that apartment, you guys? Why wasn't 911 ever called? How could a body disappear from a Midtown apartment complex in Atlanta where the streets never stop partying? Let me tell you something. That's 24 hours down there. It's never quiet. Where were her remains? They never found anything. There was no smells of decomposing. There was nothing. So we're here just trying to get this back out there. This is not an old case, but it's not a new case, but it's quiet right now. So let's try to make some noise behind this and see if we can start generating something behind this. So this young woman, so she's not forgotten, you guys. So let me ask you guys this. How can 3 people be charged in connection with her death while her parents are still unable to bury their only child? So before we begin, everyone, let's discuss tonight what happened. And everything we discuss is presumed. These people are innocent until proven guilty. We will separate the verified evidence from the prosecution's allegation and what we hear on TikTok and in these social media streets, because there's a lot of speculations out here and we don't want to get caught up in that rabbit hole. So we want to really stick to the facts that we, as we know it, that are from the prosecution, news reports and things of that nature. So please do not DM me with all these things as you guys sometimes do. It's never the Viral Crimes family, but these are my opinions. This is my channel and I'm allowed to give that. And everything that I say is allegedly, unless I say it's not. How about that? So our purpose is to educate, have respectful discussion, and just keep the victims' names alive. Sorry. So Allahnia, she was listed as, she was a tiny little thing, 5'4" tall. She weighed 120 pounds. She had black hair, brown eyes. She was last reported wearing a blue top, blue shorts, and a cream colored shoes. Let's pull up her picture again, you guys. This picture is going to be coming up and down, up and down, up and down. We got videos, but we getting her back out there. So this is this beautiful young lady. Okay, you guys, this is her. So before we go any further, you guys, I have to do some housekeeping. Okay. So that's done. So let me do this really quickly. Y'all, hold on one second. I'm learning something else here with this whole. We want this to be absolutely, hold on, y'all. Before we go any further, I don't want to forget this. I wanted to have this here, but hold on. So that's done. So let me do this really quick. Okay. Y'all, hold on one second. Let's get back into it, you guys. Something else here. This whole. Let's bring her picture back up. We want this to. So you guys, where are you watching from tonight? And did you guys hear of this case? Before this live, you guys, if you have, drop a 1 in the chat. Let me know if you guys actually heard of Allahnia and when did you hear and what did you hear? Okay. So also, you guys, please like and share. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notification. Here she goes again. I'm just going to be bringing her pictures in and out this entire live because, like I said, it's about her. So again, share it and leave Allahnia's name in that chat, you guys. Put it in there. So her mother's message from the beginning was simple. Don't stop saying my daughter's name. So we're not going to stop saying it. We might cover this again and again. Who knows? But you guys, put her name out there. Share this. Allow this to get out there in that algorithm because this young lady needs to come home and her parents deserve to have her. Okay? In that chat, you guys, put it in there. So before we discuss an apartment, an indictment, or a defendant, we need to talk about the person at the center of the story. So hold on. I don't know if you guys are hearing. Put her name out there. Share this feedback, but I'm hearing feedback, y'all. Hold on. Allow this to get out there in that algorithm because this young lady needs to come home and her parents deserve to have her. Okay? So before we discuss an apartment, an indictment. Hold on, you guys. I don't want to be hearing no feedback, and I'm hearing it in my own ears. So if you guys are hearing feedback, please just drop a 1 in the chat before we go any further. Feedback, but I'm hearing feedback, y'all. Hold on. You guys, I don't want to be hearing no feedback, and I'm hearing it in my own ears. So if you guys are hearing feedback, please just drop a 1 in the chat before we go any further. I think that I might be, but I'm gonna keep going. So anyway, Allahnia was not merely a missing woman, you guys. She was a daughter. She was somebody's friend. She was a young woman whose life mattered before anybody knew her name from this actual incident. Allania lived with her family in Douglasville area of Douglas County, Georgia, west of Atlanta. Her parents are Jeanette Jackson and Abraham Lenoir. Her father later described Allania as his only child. Can you imagine your only child? It doesn't. Can you imagine? It's just your child, but you only have this one. From this actual incident. So his only child, while pleading with a judge to deny bond to one of the defendants, this dad was relentless because these alleged the alleged people that had was there in that apartment when I'm trying to be careful with my words. They were there. They knew they were there. They saw these people come out. They were arrested. Dad did everything he could so that the judges and the courts could deny these people their bonds. So family members described Allania as someone who enjoyed going out, eating and spending time with the people she loved. Her nickname was Fruity, you guys. That's cute. Fruity. And the family created a social media campaign, Finding Fruity. So while searching for her relentlessly, those details might sound simple, but they are important. Allania was living a normal life when this happened. She had people who knew her habits. She had parents who expected her home. So when you expect your child home, see, this is what young people don't understand. As parents, we look at these, their habits. And when a habit is a little bit off, they may think we're crazy when we're trying to do a, calling 911 to try to find out where they are because they're 10 minutes late because it's not their normal. But listen, someone loves you out there, and be lucky that someone does, because you can fall to the wayside. I do so many stories that some people don't have people who are willing to search for them. They're John Does and Jane Does. Let me turn this down, y'all. This is loud in my ear. I don't know why this is so loud all of a sudden. Her parents consistently said this was not normal behavior for her. They did not believe she would cut off contact, abandon the family, and simply walk away without telling anyone. So when a young woman disappears after visiting multiple clubs in Atlanta, in any state, the conversation can quickly become judgmental. People ask why she went there. Listen, when I first moved here to Atlanta, I was like, oh, I wanted to see everything. I wanted to experience every club, everything, because back then Atlanta was a place to be, It was happening. So I can understand. She was young. She was trying to have fun, and she was trying to live her life. But none of those questions erase another person's responsibility to call if they see something is not right. And I have seen a lot of things down there, at that younger age, where now today, if I see those, I'm definitely making that call. Definitely making that call. I would never, because I would pray that if my daughters were down there and someone seen something that was a little suspicious, that someone would make that call. But none of those questions erase that responsibility, you guys. A person does not lose the right to safety because she went out. At that younger age, a person, not only she went out or he went out. This is not a her or him thing. It's a human thing. A person does not lose her humanity because drugs are alleged to have been present. That's another thing, you guys. Be careful. When you're taking substances and you're not in familiar places, you shouldn't be taking them anyway. But I'm just saying, if you are doing it, make sure you're in a very safe place and you're comfortable and you are familiar with your surroundings, because to leave yourself vulnerable when you're not cognitive, that alone will open up a Pandora's box that you may not want open. So, chat, let me ask you guys, why do you think families sometimes struggle to get widespread attention when an adult woman or male disappears? Why are these cases? And this is what it was Nolan Wells' case that brought me down this rabbit hole. Because although his case got that widespread attention, I said, there has to be other cases out here. So I started just Googling and Googling, and I'm like, wow. So I started this friend or foe series of these cases that didn't get that national attention, which is so sad. So those cases we will be discussing here on Viral Crimes with Jocelyn, you guys. So do you believe that the public gives enough urgency to missing adults? I don't like this darn 24-hour rule if they're a certain age. I don't like it. Because I'm telling you right now, you guys, if I go missing for 24 hours, someone done some. Listen, I don't go anywhere for 24 hours and do not contact my family, my husband, my dad. Someone will always know where I'm at. So if your girl go missing for more than 6 hours, sound the alarm. That ain't right. Listen, hell, 2 hours. I'm always texting, and your family knows how you do things. So they know if you go without 4 hours of text, something ain't right. Maybe could I have lost my phone? No, I ain't losing my phone. So what responsibilities do content creators have to talk about these victims, you guys? Is it our job to try to get these stories out here? Instead of focusing on just the accused, we want to keep these names alive. So, you know what? This is this young lady that we're talking about. They had flyers going out for her. This was big at that time. But yet the fact that they haven't found this young, beautiful lady's body, I said I have to talk about this. So you know what? I'll be going in and out with this case. We have some videos, we have more pictures, we have more dialogue. I want the chat to get involved. You guys get involved. This is serious. This could be your daughter. This could be your mom. This could be someone that you love. So get involved in this chat and get this out into the algorithm, y'all. We have to. Are we our brother's keepers? Yes, we are. We truly are. So let's look at this video. I'm gonna put my earbuds back in because I don't know why I'm hearing dialogue. I want the chat to get involved. You guys get involved. This is serious. This could be your daughter. This could be your mom.
Better known to
this could be
those who
someone
know
that
and
you
love her
love.
as
So
Fruity,
get involved in this.
was
Let's
born
go back.
on December 6,
Get this out into the algorithm, y'all.
1997,
We
to
have
Abraham Lenoir
Are we our
and
brother's
Jeanette
keepers?
Jackson.
Yes, we are. We
Her family
truly are.
describes
So
her as someone who was
let's look at
always
this video.
laughing,
My
joyful,
earbuds
and
back in
full of
because I
life.
don't know why I'm hearing.
Her infectious spirit and bubbly personality left an impression on everyone who came in contact with her. And according to her mother, Alani's best quality
Let's go back.
was her heart. No matter what quarrel she had with somebody, she was quick to forgive and move forward. And her forgiveness was genuine because she would never hold the past against you. She described her daughter as being perfect on the inside and someone we all could learn a lot from. Growing up, Alani's lively personality would lead her to join many activities. She was a part of her school dance team, she was in the chorus, and she even enjoyed theater and drama as well because she was such a natural at connecting with other people. She enjoyed making TikTok videos with her family and friends. Every glimpse of Alani, whether through a video or a photo, reveals snapshots of who she truly was.
My name is Allahnia Lenoir. I go to Cherokee High School, and I've been coming to Urban Tangles for about 2 months now, and I just love everybody there. Alicia, everybody's so nice, and the difference between her salon and other salons is that they're really quick, and they'll get you in and out, and there's no uncomfortable not speaking. Everybody's really sweet and initiate a conversation, and whenever I go to an event, everybody's like, where'd you get your hair done? And I always look the best there.
A young girl full of life with a magnetic personality and vivacious spirit that could just light up a room, which makes the story I'm about to share even more heartbreaking.
On Friday, July 29, 2022, Alani was picked up from her home in Douglasville, Georgia, by her friend, Tori Green.
All right, you guys. So what we have is public reports. They vary slightly over whether Alania entered the building during the evening of July 30th or in the early hours of July 31st. The safest way to describe the timeline is the night of July 30th into the 31st. Allania left her family's Douglasville County home with a female friend. The woman traveled approximately 30 miles towards Midtown Atlanta to meet two men at the Peachtree Midtown Apartments. You know what? Let me see if I can find a picture of these apartments that I can bring up for you guys. No, actually, I think it's going to be in this video, so I'm not going to do that. So those two men were later identified as Diante Reynolds and Stephen Oboite, Oboite. Police said Allania and the men were not complete strangers, but authorities have not publicly provided a complete explanation of how they met, so nobody knows. I hate the unanswered questions. Why didn't the woman that drove 30 miles to get to her, why didn't she know the relationship between Allania and these two guys in which she picked up? So I don't like all of these blank spots that we can't fill in. So how long they had known one another or the precise nature of the relationship, we don't know. Allania was seen entering the building. Some reportings indicated she used her identification to gain entry. Her friends later left the apartment. Which friends? Was it the friend that was supposed to be the buddy system? Who you go with, you leave with? Did she leave her there alone? Did the two guys leave? Did they all three leave and leave her in this apartment? Some reports said that she was left by herself. Some reports say she was left with the two men. So what would make her friend leave her with two men that nobody knows what their relationship was? That female friend has not been charged with anything, so she's innocent, you guys. Atlanta police said the evidence available to them did not suggest that she was culpable in Allania's disappearance or presumed death. It's presumed because they have not found Allania's body. So you know what, chat? This is important. We can ask about her timeline and what she witnessed without accusing or charging her with a crime. So right now, she's off the hook because we'll deal with the facts. So we're not gonna condemn her because according to court papers, she's innocent. So on the evening of July 30th, Allania leaves Douglas County with a female friend. They travel to Midtown. The two women plan to meet Diante and Stephen. Allania enters. Okay, let me show you a picture of Diante and Stephen. Here they go. This is Diante and Stephen. I will say a little scary to me, but who am I? I would have raised my eyebrow. You know, I'm really picky about who I was around at that age, and they look a little sketchy. So let's just keep going. Allania enters the Peachtree Midtown Apartments. The female friend eventually leaves. Why? Allania remains behind with the men, according to public reported accounts. Allania is never publicly documented leaving on her own. You know what? Let's watch some more of this, you guys.
During that weekend, the two headed to Atlanta, which is about 30 miles away from where she lives. Between that Friday and Saturday, she would visit her boyfriend, go to work, and by Saturday evening, the two headed out to visit with two acquaintances, which allegedly Allania had not long since met. By all appearances, they were just two girls hanging out and looking to have a good time. The two men, Diante Reynolds and Stephen Oboite, invited the two girls to hang with them at the Peachtree Midtown apartment complex. Though what was supposed to be a night of young people laughing and having a good time turned into a tragic nightmare, one that began with four people entering the same apartment and ended with only three of them leaving out. Alani, Tori, Diante, and Stephen entered the apartment, though Tori, Diante, and Stephen were the only ones to ever be seen leaving. This is where everything gets strange and the web begins to tangle. On Sunday, July 31st, Alani's mother, Jeanette, received a text message from Tori asking if Alani was okay. It read, haven't seen her since Friday, but that's normal. Tori then asked, she didn't come home last night? To which Jeanette replies, she doesn't have a charger. She normally doesn't come home until Tuesday. Wasn't home, so I can't say for sure, but when I came back, she wasn't here. Tori says, Brown hasn't heard from her since yesterday when she was at work. He said he's been waiting on her all night. Brown was allegedly Alani's boyfriend. And when Jeanette says she doesn't usually come home until Tuesday, it's speculated that she normally doesn't come home until Tuesday.
So she's out with two men. Neither one of those were her boyfriend. You know, it's like sometimes we put ourselves into situations because I'm not trying to be with no man and I'm in a relationship. You know, we have to start thinking better and making better decisions for ourselves, you know, as young women. I'm not young no more, but I'm saying I'm going back back in those times when, you know, I wasn't making the best decisions, but I tried my best not to put myself in harm's way. I always stuck to the buddy system. Like, no matter what, I'm going to go with my girlfriends. We're going to stay there together. We're going to leave together. I've never been left alone. Um, and I've always been well protected by the male people that were in my life at that time. They were overly protective of me. So I was blessed to have that type of protection. So let's keep going, you guys.
She was perhaps referring to Alani's habit of staying over at her boyfriend's place.
Stuck to the buddy system.
Allegedly, Tori said she left on Saturday night with someone who came to pick her up and returned to get her car that next morning.
And I've always
She texted Diante asking about her friend's whereabouts. He said he hadn't seen Alani and was under the impression she left because she had to watch her younger brother. Though between him and Stephen, the two had conflicting stories about what happened that changed.
If you guys are hearing like this feedback, why am I hearing this feedback? I am trying something different this time. I'm actually streaming in vertical and horizontal. So I don't know if those two are clashing, but unfortunately I can't stop it in the midst of the live. I would have to stop the live and then go back in, which I don't want to do. So I'm trying to, let me see. Let me try it again. I just try to. If you guys are hearing like this feedback, why am I hearing this feedback? I am trying something different this time. I'm trying to disable it, but it's not allowing me to disable it. But this is the first time me doing this. So I'm trying to grow the channel so it can get out there to TikTok in the way that it sees it and things of that nature. So just bear with the channel, you guys. You guys are family now. So, you know, we're growing and I want to give you guys the best content as possible. So
several times during their conversation. On Monday, Tori reached out to Diante via text. She said she was on her way to the Peachtree leasing office to try and request access to the surveillance cameras. She writes, y'all got anything you want to get out before we look at these cameras at 10? Diante replies, go ahead, I have nothing to hide. You definitely do. That's why y'all got different stories. Like, the F y'all go do at 4 a.m. for 4 hours, bro. You really starting to try me. Incredibly out of character. Did she say someone was picking her up? I'm not mad, just irritated. Bro, F your irritation. My friend is effing missing. To which Diante says, when I came back, she had left. The main thing I know is she had to go watch her brother at some point. So why your friend saying she left at 8? Ninja, because she left around 8 according to him. I was not there. You can check.
we know that's not facts because there is no surveillance seeing Allania leaving that Midtown apartment at all. She signed in, but she never signed out.
Whatever. She sobered up and dipped is my presumption. How the hell am I supposed to really even answer that? Tori ends with, "Oh,
We know
I
that's not
can't
facts
wait for this MF
because
and
there's
leasing office
no
to open.
surveillance
You the last
seeing
MF
Allania
to see
leaving
her."
that Midtown apartment.
More
at
time
all.
went by without a single
She
word
signed
from
in,
Alani,
but
and
she
everyone
never
began to grow
signed
worried.
out.
At the time of her disappearance, not many people had any solid information about these two men last seen with her. However, the world would soon find out. During this time, in the initial days of her disappearance, Tori seemed genuinely concerned. She was the first person to reach out and show concern to the point where and everyone began to grow worried. At the time of her disappearance,
There's the apartment complex, you guys. I wanted to get a picture of that, but we do have that the prosecutors allege that no one called 911 from that apartment. Prosecution alleged that her body was moved and concealed, but how? Now, like I said, I've been to those apartments before, not that exact apartment, but I do know those high rise. There's multiple ways of coming in and coming out. There's the apartment complex. So, to get a picture of that. Allania left home socially to have a good time. 911 from that apartment. Nothing about leaving with a friend necessarily suggests that she was walking into danger. She reached the modern apartment complex in one of the most visible areas in Atlanta. This was not an isolated cabin. She wasn't in the woods somewhere. She was in Midtown. I think they coined it as Lipstick Alley because of the influence that goes on down there, the nightlife. It was not an abandoned property. It was a residential building on Peachtree Street, surrounded by traffic, businesses, homeless people, cameras, residents, and vehicles. Why? And this didn't happen in 1980, 1970. This happened in the 2000s. Why are there no videos of this young lady? It makes no sense to me. No one's seen anything. It was not an abandoned property. But yet investigators believe something happened inside one of those units and Allania's body was removed without being recovered. Why? And this didn't happen in 1980. I don't know, you guys. I'm just floored by this case. At one point, should the people inside that apartment, if obviously the people that were in that apartment meant her no good. So there was no way 911 was going to be called, period. What's going to happen? Why did her friend leave her behind? Is that a friend? With two men that she rarely knew? Come on, you guys. I'm just floored by this. These questions need to be answered. At one point, should the people inside that apartment, if obviously, okay, the people that were in that apartment, the key card, they sign in. Because I know, like I said, I've been down to those condos down there, and you got to go in, you sign in, you show your little ID, they let you up. They don't even let you up. They actually call the person that the apartment number that you're going to inform them that you are here, that you're downstairs. Questions need to be answered. Don't sound right. And then that person has to say, okay, let them up. And then they escort you to the elevator and they let you upstairs. That's the type of condos and apartment complexes that are downtown in Midtown Atlanta. So what happened to this young lady? What happened to this young lady, you guys? Let's keep watching this.
She even contacted some of Alani's relatives in Chicago. She went back to the apartment along with Alani's uncle to confront Diante.
That's the type of condos and apartment complexes that are downtown in Midtown Atlanta. So, what happened to this young lady? What happened to this young lady, you guys? Let's keep watching this.
And Stephen, but the two were never there. She even reportedly stayed for 2 days.
I just lost power, so hopefully you guys can hear me. The power just went out. We're getting a storm, so that's why I decided to come on here a little earlier. So hopefully we are still streaming, you guys. So let me try this again.
Friends and relatives sprang into action as well. They filed a police report, made phone calls, and canvassed the Peachtree luxury apartment complex. They were looking for anything that would give them some clues. There were cameras
I
around, so
just
they
lost
were
power,
hopeful
so
that
hopefully you guys can
maybe
hear
they
me.
would provide
We're
answers.
getting a storm,
But to their
so that's why I
disappointment,
decided to come
they
on here a
weren't
little
allowed to view
earlier.
any of the
So
footage.
hopefully we are still
Everything
streaming
surrounding
nice.
Alani's
So let me try this
disappearance
again.
seemed sketchy, and law enforcement was moving slow as snails. So before we go any further, let's go into the details about this so-called luxury apartment complex. We all know that looks can be deceiving, and this is a prime example. These apartments were anything but luxury. And based on the reviews alone, I would say the family had justifiable grounds to be concerned. There were several one-star reviews centered around safety. The others were unaddressed maintenance issues. Over the coming weeks, more reviews would reveal the management staff had been allegedly removing Alani's missing person flyers for fear they would affect business. Because of this, many people who lived in the area didn't even know Alani was missing. One person wrote, "The rent was affordable during my tenure, and apartment maintenance requests were always addressed. However, I had serious concerns about the safety of this complex. On many occasions, I noted in writing to the leasing office problems about the many broken and open access gates. I rarely received a response, and any repairs were short lived. In 2019, someone tried to break into my apartment, and the responding Atlanta police officer told me that he noticed many of the gates were not working. I was very disappointed with 1660 apartments for the following reasons: entrance gate not functioning properly, rat infestation, garbage dumpsters overloaded, trash stacked up around the garbage chutes, mold and mildew in the apartments, and non-working elevators. Do not believe the positive reviews. I am a SCAD student.
Let's pause this. I want to read this. Do not believe the positive reviews. I am SCAD student with friends that lived there, and a girl went missing this summer, but they took down the missing signs to give people tours so they could move in. Wow. There are shady characters always around. The front and back gates are broken, cameras do not work, and maintenance play favoritism and left a huge hole in my friend's wall. Sketchy down there, you guys.
With friends that live there. And a girl went missing this summer, but they took down the missing signs to give people tours so they could move in.
Wow.
There are shady characters always around. The front and back gates are broken. Cameras do not work. Maintenance plays favorites and left a huge hole in my friend's wall. Left a note saying they'll be back and have yet to fix anything. This place is sketchy and not worth the money. One of my other friends that moved out said there was a guy walking around trying to open
Is it
everyone's
not
doors.
playing? Why?
Like, this is a
Listen,
terrible,
like I said, I
terrible
done
place.
lost power,
And
you guys, so I'm having a hard time getting things back on track. Yeah, it's on.
tries to get people to write good
It's not
reviews
playing
and
now.
gives out incentives for it. It's a death trap.
There's always something.
Do not
Oh, there we go.
click
We're
here.
back.
I wish I
Sorry.
would have listened to the bad reviews before signing a lease.
Okay.
These apartments are not worth the money and definitely not luxury. I got bad vibes when I was touring this place. Felt like they were fake nice and desperate to get you into the door, as well as not caring who lives here. Not stringent enough background checks to find good tenants. Do not go here even if you're desperate to find a place. It's not even worth the low prices. People had questions. Like, if Alani and Tori went to this apartment together, then why did only one of them leave? And how could Tori not have any idea where her friend was? Also, how is it possible for three people to lose track of somebody who was at one point?
Okay, you guys. What we do know is that public record does tell us that Alania did enter that building. Investigator says she did not leave under her own power. Police believe she passed inside that apartment. Investigators believed her remains were then moved. Search warrants, technology, and technological evidence reportedly produced a possible search area. Her remains have not been recovered. So, but here's what we cannot responsibly claim. We do not have autopsies. We do not have the cause of death. We don't have forensic inventory of the apartment. There's no news reporting saying that they went into when they did a forensic of the apartment. There was no blood. There was no DNA mentioned. There was no mention of like medical distress with her. There was just nothing. We don't know. We just don't know. So the crime scene really did not give us anything. But removing someone from a residential building, how? That had to be hard. That had to be hard. It had to be hard. There's no way that they did that and no one's seen anything. Were they paid off? Like that lady said, there's a lot of sketchy stuff goes on down in Midtown down there. You guys, sorry guys. A lot of sketchy stuff. Was that just one of the things that was sketchy that went on? Which elevators were used? They had to see the whoever brought her out. They had to see something. They was not just ghost. Did the building have a loading area? Remember I said that earlier. I've been to those condos down there. I've been to multiple apartments down there. I know there's multiple entries and multiple exits. I know that they have the oversized elevator where they bring in and out furniture for the people that are moving in. Of course, it's not an apartment where you can just move something in. So they also have your employee access areas. You know, it's just so many questions that are not answered. And this case just went silent. You know, was there a parking garage to this area? You know, this, like I said, this is not a case that happened back in 1980. There should be more evidence than what is being told. I don't know. Let's keep watching this, you guys.
With all of them, it didn't make sense. When asked about why she left the apartment without Alani, Tori first said she left to go be with her boyfriend and planned to come back and get her. But that story soon changed. She later said she asked Alani if she wanted a ride home, but Alani declined and said one of the guys would pay for her an Uber. For weeks, no one knew Tori by name. The public only knew her as the friend, the girl who committed a cardinal sin when she broke the quote unquote girl code by ditching her friend and leaving her behind. Social media commentary went crazy as speculations ran wild. People had a lot of not so good things to say about this alleged friend, who was at the least questionable, and her silence only added fuel to an already out of control fire. So, who exactly is Tori? Well, according to Alani's mother, Jeanette, Tori is the mother of her grandchild because she has a daughter with her ex husband's son. So, even though people refer to her and Alani as friends, they are technically family. However, even in the wake of everything that happened, Tori went from a hysterically concerned friend to a seemingly cold and callous enemy. Her concern shifted to disdain, and her text of worry about her friend transitioned to criticism and downright hatred. She went from showing her support to complete.
That's worrisome. Now, I went through her social media platforms and there's no pictures of her and Alania. So I'm very surprised to hear, like I said, I didn't watch this video. I'm very surprised to hear that they were somewhat family. I really, really am.
Completely distancing herself from the family. But where did all of this animosity come from? Did all the criticism from the outside get to her? Or was this a sign of a facade beginning to fade? Of course, only Tori truly has the answers, though one can speculate that based on the behavior that ensued, perhaps there's more to the story. Diante and Stephen's names were released to the public as persons of interest. People speculated that they may have been involved in some sort of sophisticated trafficking ring, and Jeanette started to believe her daughter had been kidnapped and may have been held somewhere against her will. Turns out both Diante and Stephen have criminal records and a very disturbing history of nefarious activities that would make anybody raise their level of concern.
I knew there was more to this story. Y'all, let me tell you something. I do not second guess anything. I believe what is being told because the whole thing stinks. And these two dudes, when I tell you, you wouldn't catch me dead in a room with these two guys. Would not happen. They look suspicious, you guys. I'm scared for her. This little 5'4" little girl. She was a woman, but yet she couldn't defend herself. Listen, I'm 6'2.5", 6'3" on a good day, 6'5" with some heels, and I still would not be caught with those two jokers. Hell no. Ladies, let's keep going, you guys.
30-year-old Diante Cleophas Reynolds is originally from Los Angeles, California.
Cleophas.
No stranger to trouble. In 2012, he was charged with first-degree burglary on more than one occasion. He caught a charge for attempted burglary in 2013 and was arrested in December of 2020 for possession of a weapon as a convicted felon. Allegedly, he's accumulated 50 years of probation for his offenses. Even more unsettling is what's revealed from
Did she say 50 years of How you get 50 years of probation and you don't get jail time? 50 years of probation? What did this dude do? 50 years, y'all? And nobody. See, sometimes let me take off my glasses so you guys can hear me better. Sometimes I think that allegedly, okay, it's a circle. And everybody in that circle is connected. And within this circle, there's this one little thing in the middle. And that one thing in the middle don't have no clue what the circle around her or him is doing. So I believe it's deeper than just these two knuckleheads. They're playing a part in something. They have to be 50 years of probation and no jail time. What crime did they commit? But yet they were out and was able to do this to Allahnia allegedly. Come on, you guys. Open up your eyes and think deeper than the surface. These guys are criminals. They are bad guys. Who lined their pockets? You know what? I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to put on my glasses so I can shut up, y'all. Let's keep going.
The content of his social history, most of which I can't regurgitate due to its explicit nature, though a few that stuck out to me were these tweets he shared in the past. Control-Alt-Delete your bitch ass. Don't try me, you might blink and die.
Ooh.
I can feel myself becoming more and more heartless every time something I don't like happens. Ever hug your mom with a pistol on your waist?
Oh.
Shoot a ninja spot up, watch a ninja crawl out.
Oh. He's angry.
It would be a stretch to assume that Diante Reynolds is reckless. Overall, his social media footprint reveals a disturbed young man who doesn't respect women, promotes violence, and seems to be mentally unstable. Police learned that his apartment at the Peachtree residence was obtained under an alias, So, what exactly was he up to? 30-year-old Stephen Obiate is no angel either, and
Obiate.
allegedly
Okay.
has drug-related charges on his record. He too had multiple identities and properties.
Listen, you guys, I'm just sitting here thinking, like they're criminals. Did they say, okay, you're going to get 90 years of probation if you do this so you don't have to go to it's I don't trust anything anymore. And anything is possible, you guys. And stop walking around this world with rose petal glasses on and blinders on because nothing has changed under the sun. What happened 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago, it is happening today, just in a different fashion. Just keep your mind right, you guys, and just realize nothing has changed. How did this guy get 50 years of probation and he's not in jail? I'm gonna have to research Obiate. I think that's what she said. She said it right, y'all. Let's keep going, you guys. This was not supposed to be a reaction video because I had a lot of things to talk about and I had did my own little research. So I'm going to go back to some of the things that I found out. We're going to finish this video because it's good. I didn't see it, you guys. So I am like, okay, girl, you did your thing. This is, what channel is this? I'm going to have to put her channel in my description. So let's see. In late 2022, Fulton County Grand Jury did return a 13-count indictment involving Diante Reynolds and Stephen and Nicholas. Where did Nicholas come from? Hendrickson. So according to reporting, based on that indictment, prosecutors alleged that Reynolds and Oboite provided Allenia with opiates inside the apartment. Where's her homegirl? Where's her homegirl? You left your girlfriend, your little 5'4" girlfriend, with these three men that earlier we realized she really didn't know. So you left her with a bunch of strangers, okay? Let's just start there. The indictment alleges that Allenia suffered medical distress after ingesting a controlled substance. Prosecutors say that the men did not call 911 because they were attempting to hide the alleged involvement with the drugs. Maybe that is because he had 50 years of probation. And with 50 years of probation, knowing that if you hiccup wrong, you're going where you don't want to go. So you're willing to hide whatever. Investigators furtherly allege that Allenia passed and that her remains were removed and concealed by those three idiots. I thought it was two, but it was three dingleberries. Them three. Their names again was Diante Reynolds, Stephen Oboite, and Nicholas Hendrickson. The distinction, listen, you guys, public reporting does not establish that Allenia was intentionally attacked. We don't know that. We don't know if they went in there with the intention of deleting this young lady. But we do know that one of those three, they do know the answer. They know what happened to her. They look like big guys too. That poor baby. I feel so sad and afraid for her.
Under different aliases. It wasn't till the following Thursday following her disappearance, 5 days later, the cops actually began looking for Allenia. It would be a full 10 days before they acquired a search warrant for the apartment. By then, the two men had already packed up their belongings and moved everything out. Police wanted everyone to believe Allenia just left on her own, but her mother knew better than that. Jeanette was close to her daughter. For the most part, they talked or texted daily. It was routine for them. She even had the location to her daughter's whereabouts set up on her phone. And when she checked Allenia's last phone ping, it sure enough showed the Peachtree location. But the police were making her feel like she was wasting their time. Her frustration led her to eventually hire a private investigator.
The family of Allahnia Lenoir searched and begged for information about their missing daughter.
Please fight. Keep fighting. And we're going to all keep praying for you to have strength to come home.
Now they're getting extra help with former officer and longtime private investigator T.J. Ward.
I have the resources to find the right people, cadaver dogs and drones and aerial support. I can get that and develop that and put that in to utilize to be able to enhance this search and this investigation.
Then, a break in the case.
At this point, we have developed enough evidence to suggest that Allahnia was murdered and that her body was disposed of. We have secured Fulton County arrest warrants for 2 individuals. One of those individuals is currently in custody at the Fulton County Jail, 29-year-old Diante Reynolds. The second subject we are going to ask for the help of the media and the general public to locate. He is 29-year-old Stephen Oboite. We do believe that Stephen is located somewhere in the Metro Atlanta area. And so we would again ask that if anybody has information.
You guys, like I said, I'm having a lot of power issues right now. There's a storm coming and we have lightning, thunder, and the internet keeps going in and out. So please bear with me as I try to finish this live, you guys. So it may be a pause in between. I'm lucky enough that the internet is strong enough that it's not taking it down. It's just glitching it. So we're behind a little bit. But that's okay. Let's keep going, you guys. Let me see if you guys can see it.
That they would please contact the Atlanta Police Department or Crime Stoppers and provide us with that information.
We're good.
So keeping in mind that this still is a very open, active investigation, our ultimate goal is to locate the body of Allahnia and be able to provide closure for this grieving family. But we will take some questions that we are able to answer at this point.
Were there any leads or tips that led you to that? I know you said it was like technology, but were there any leads or tips that led you to that location as far as where you believe she was killed?
So that's the great job that our missing persons unit did right off the bat. And again, every missing persons case that we get, we investigate aggressively. We take each one of these cases seriously, and we're able to utilize anything at all at our disposal to locate this individual. So in this case, it was an exigent request for a phone company to get a last known location. And that's what led us initially to that apartment complex.
Did Allahnia know the 2 gentlemen prior to that night? So
we do believe that they did have a brief acquaintanceship or relationship. They were not complete strangers at the point.
You guys, I will say this without, he's saying all this mumble jumble, and I get it. But without the body, we don't know if there was controlled substances involved, the quantity that she took. Now, the friend says she did take some, that they gave it to her, the guys that she was with, after her friend left her by herself with 3 men that she was unfamiliar with. Okay. I often say on my channel that if you are aware of this, you need to go down too. There's no reason why that friend should not be charged with something. Whether there was, did Allahnia have a medical condition? We don't know. We don't know the precise time of death. We don't know the exact cause. We know nothing. And you know why? Because they have not found her remains. So there's no answers. Everything that's coming out this gentleman's mouth is speculation. They didn't even do a forensic testing on the apartment complex that she was found in. Why? All of this stinks to me. But we're going to keep discussing these cases. I don't give a darn. We're going to get these names out here. This happened a long time ago, but guess what? It's back. And it's back on Viral Crimes with Jocelyn, you guys. Let's keep going.
Of that night inside of the apartment.
Did Reynolds turn himself in, or was that
He was apprehended in Conyers, Georgia, and then transported.
Okay, so now we went from Douglasville County, Georgia, from Douglasville to Atlanta in Midtown, from Midtown to now Conyers. So these people are all over the place. They're all over the place, and they're muddying the water of the crime scene. So obviously they did make it into the apartment. They did not find her body. She did not sign out of that apartment. She signed in. She never signed out. So therefore, there was some way they were able to get out and take this body with them. Period. We know that. Did the 3 men that were in that apartment, did they sign out? Come on now. There has to be more evidence than this. Listen, I'm not a FBI agent. I am not a forensic psychologist. I'm not none of that. But I have common sense. And I do work in the medical field, and I am an expert witness when it comes to medical. I won't tell you what, but my brain works a little different. This ain't normal. And this friend who now became her foe. She was hard body behind her when it happened. But all of a sudden, she became her foe. Were they all connected?
County Jail.
Are there going to be any charges potentially for the third person who was there with them that night? The woman, she was with a friend.
So at this point, we are still exploring everything. The evidence we have at this point does not suggest that that individual was culpable in the disappearance or death of Alani.
Do you believe that Diante is still in the Metro Atlanta area or maybe left the area?
So, that's where we're really reaching out and asking for help from the public. At this point, we do believe he may still be in the metro area. And certainly anytime we advertise an individual's face and let them know that they are wanted, we know that it increases the likelihood of that person trying to flee. But we also know that we are stronger when we work together with the community. And we are confident that tips will come in.
Now, Diante Reynolds, his attorney argued during a bond hearing, you guys. This idiot, they do find this guy. They do find him. I'm just making sure I'm being heard here. They do find this guy. He's here. The bond hearing comes, and he stated there were no witnesses or evidence directly linking him to Allania's passing, and described the prosecution's case as extremely weak. Although we do know that Dingleberry signed into that apartment, but we don't know if he signed out. So the defense argued Allania's death has not been medically proven. So basically they're saying she's still alive and she just doesn't want to be found by the people she loves. There was no cause of passing has been established. She did voluntarily, allegedly ingest. I don't even like to put that out there. But that's part of his defense. It's part of his defense, you guys. Those arguments will ultimately be tested against the complete evidence, which there is none.
That will lead us to the apprehension of this individual.
Law enforcement had been in communication with both Diante and Stephen. After a thorough investigation, Diante was arrested and Stephen agreed to turn himself in, but never did. He is still on the run as of the release of this video.
Oh, and he would be the one that has 50 years probation. I've never heard of this in my life. 50 years and you still out here walking around in the streets? He made a deal with the devil. He made a deal with somebody. I don't know. 50 years probation, you guys. If you guys in the chat, if you've heard of anyone that has ever received 50 years probation on a crime committed, drop a 1 in the chat, you guys, because I have not. And I don't know everything, so it may be something that's out there. 50 years, you guys. Run that through your brain over and over and over again. 50 years of probation for this knucklehead. And we don't know what he did. And I'm gonna research it because I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do updates. I do updates on cases. So don't worry. It's coming back, you guys. So just please hang in there with your girl. Viral Crimes with Jocelyn, you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. We are not sugarcoating ish here. I'm not afraid. It is what it is. So please get this out here into the algorithm because Allania name, she needs to be be remembered. Because as we already know, there's no evidence that she's even gone. So why are they talking to her about her in past tense when there's nobody? You know, like one person early on in the video had mentioned trafficking. There's no evidence. There's no crime scene. The apartment was squeaky clean, you guys. Could she be somewhere else? We don't know. But we're going to keep her name alive. We're going to keep her pictures out there. Maybe somebody may see her in another country. Who knows? So I'm going to put her picture up there again. Where she's at right here. This is Allahnia. It's beautiful young woman, 5'4". Went out with her girlfriend, met up with 3 criminals. These guys, you may know them. One of them had 50 years probation. Wanted poster, you guys. Something is stinking in Denmark. So I'm going to put my glasses back on because, you know, when I have them on, I can hear better. I can't see nothing, you guys. I'm sorry, but I get frustrated, you guys. So let's keep going with this case.
And it's considered to be dangerous. If you see this man, contact Crime Stoppers or call 911 immediately. Both suspects were charged with felony murder and concealing the death of another. Even though they haven't found a body, law enforcement believes Allahnia is deceased according to the information they gathered. Keep in mind, though, that law enforcement doesn't just deem a person deceased, let alone announce it to the public without a considerable amount of evidence. It takes a lot of circumstantial and physical evidence to even get an arrest warrant for homicide. Also, notice that even though Tori was cleared immediately, it was made clear during the press conference that the investigation concerning her involvement was still ongoing.
Good.
His exact words were,
"No, at this point, we are still exploring everything. The evidence we have at this point does not suggest that."
Sorry, you guys. I'm waiting right along with y'all. Be patient.
That individual was culpable in the disappearance or death of Allahnia.
He pointed out that at that point in time, the evidence they had didn't point to her, which meant that at any point during the investigation, things could definitely change. Let me remind you that in America, our justice system denotes that we are all presumed innocent until proven guilty. So, though Tori may appear to be a walking red flag.
You know what? Now, mind you, now Reynolds, okay, you guys, the apartment complex was rented to him under false identity. So that's why I said there's a lot. There's more to this than meets the eye. Who actually lived in that apartment? What evidence linked Reynolds to the alleged controlled substance? Because he administered it to her or offered it to her, which she said, okay. Why? I don't know. Was she forced to take it? We don't know. What did this man tell the investigators? Did they get his cell phone records? You know, was there any, you know how they do the forensic check of the cell phones? Did they do that? Why is everything unknown? All we know as facts is Allahnia walked into that Midtown apartment and never walked out. That's facts. Everything else is allegedly, you guys. That's facts. That's the only thing that we do know. Now, this Stephen Oboite, he was identified as the second man inside that apartment and was also charged with her murder and related offenses. So he had a lot. These was really nefarious dudes. They were not good guys, okay? So after investigators publicly named Oboite, he remained at large for 2 years. 2. Then came one of the most unusual developments in this entire case. So on June 1st of 2024, Georgia game wardens encountered a man operating a jet ski in a no-wake zone on Lake Allatoona. You know, they do have some of the best fish out there. But anyway, he was on a jet ski enjoying his best life. So officers suspected he was impaired because he should never have been there. So the man allegedly refused to provide identification, sped toward shore, and ran into the woods. Wardens captured him, and he was identified as Stephen Oboite. The man wanted in connection with Aliana's passing, which I don't like. They keep saying passing because they don't have a body or no remains or no evidence, no DNA, no blood, no nothing. He was also accused of providing false identification. During this encounter, Oboite was subsequently transferred to face the Fulton County charges and was later denied bond. Okay? So, let's think about that. They brought down the people that were there, but we still don't have the answer. So let's keep going, you guys.
At the end of the day, we do not have all the facts in this case. So just because her behavior may appear to be atypical doesn't make her a criminal. I say that because what I'm about to share is not favorable to her character, but needs to be shared in order to give reference to the full story. As stated before, Tori's demeanor shifted at some point during the investigation. The more the family and the public pressed her for information, the more she pushed back. Tori eventually took to the internet and posted a long explanation to Instagram. Since it was quite a long post, I'll summarize it here for you, but I'll also leave it for you to read in its entirety in my community tab. The post asserted that Tori in no way would have left Alani with Diante and Steven.
It's bullcrap because you did. So already you're starting it off with lies. So take it with a grain of salt. At no way would I, but you did. You left your friend with 3 men, as she stated earlier, that Aliana wasn't familiar with. So she lied. So take it with a grain of salt. Listen, don't trust nobody. Only trust what you have learned. Do your own due diligence to find the facts. All this crap, everybody is liars.
She felt it was unsafe. She said it was her first time meeting the 2 men, and Alani was the one who visited them in the past. During the previous encounters,
that's not what she said earlier when they did their interview with her. Do you see what I mean? Oh, God.
Tori alleged Alani was provided with an Uber paid for by either Diante or Steven. Because she claimed Alani visited the apartment alone in the past, she assumed Alani was safe enough to do it again. She also alleged when she realized the, quote, party, unquote, was over, she was ready to go because all she could hear were sounds of persons being intimate from another room. She claimed she texted Alani, who was in a room with Diante, and asked if she wanted a ride home, in which Alani declined and said she would take an Uber. She then left with a friend and came back the next day to pick up her vehicle, and she says Diante was not home.
Okay, so who is this other friend did she leave with? There's a lot of people in here. You got the 3 men, Aliana, this chick, and the friend that she left with, and she left her vehicle there. It's just a lot of moving parts, but yet no darn answers, you guys.
Public's response may not have been what she was expecting. Perhaps Tori felt the explanation would provide her a little accusatory relief, though that wasn't the case. Many people still didn't believe her and thought it was a tacky way to try and redeem herself.
I believe so.
Allegedly, it was also revealed that Tori lied about not having met Diante or Steven before the July 30th encounter because phone records obtained...
It was a lie because early on, it was known that she was the one. She picked up her Aliana from Douglasville. On her way to Midtown, she stopped off and got these other 2 guys. It's all lies, you guys. Don't believe any of it.
By law enforcement proved otherwise. Therefore, it was hard for the public to believe any part of her story, knowing the most important part about it being her first time ever meeting these 2 men was a complete lie. To make matters worse, damaging clips of a phone conversation between Tori and another unnamed individual were leaked to the public. In them, she's taking shots at Alani and saying things that would make anyone question their friendship.
I am smarter than Lonnie.
I will say this. I went onto her TikTok, her Instagram. I went onto her Facebook, and I could find nothing about these two being friends. Now, everybody knows if you have friends and there are people that's in your lives, there's going to be something on your social media pages that connect you guys to these people. There was nothing. Did she take it down? And why would she take it down? That doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense, you guys. So let's keep listening to what she's saying in this video, because I didn't see this one. So I could have missed something. I checked Instagram. I checked 3 things: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. I don't check all that, Kick, Twitch, and although we're on there, I don't check it, you guys. So let's continue with this.
Isn't she gone and I'm not? Stupid bitch. I bet that one sucks.
I'm going to let that sit with you.
Oh no, we're not gonna go past that. We are not just gonna move over that. We're gonna double back, you guys. We're gonna listen to that again. Let's go back just a little bit. Hold on. Let's get the drink in our hand, because they say a drunk man tell no tale. So let's see what she's saying.
For the public to believe any part of her story, knowing the most important part about it being her first time ever meeting these 2 men, was a complete lie. To make matters worse, damaging clips of a phone conversation between Tori and another unnamed individual were leaked to the public. In them, she's taking shots at Alani and saying things that would make anyone question their friendship.
I am smarter than Lonnie. Isn't she gone and I'm not? Stupid bitch. I bet that one sucks.
I'm going to let that sit with you. So feel free to digest.
You guys, did you hear what this woman said? This is out of her mouth. And because it's out of her mouth, I'm going to play it one more time. Because she's the one that picked up Alani. She picked her up. Her friend, the one she trusted. Friend or foe, you guys. One more time. Let's double back on this itch right here. One more time. We're going to go back one more time. Right here. Open up y'all ears and listen. This was the girl who connected her with the 3 guys. This girl right here, her friend. Let's do it.
First time ever meeting these 2 men was a complete lie. To make matters worse, damaging clips of a phone conversation between Tori and another unnamed individual were leaked to the public. In them, she's taking shots at Alani and saying things that would make anyone question their friendship.
I am smarter than Lonnie. Isn't she gone and I'm not? Stupid bitch. I bet that one sucks.
I'm going to let that sit with you. So feel free to digest it at whatever rate you find tolerable. Keep in mind, these are the words directly from the mouth of a so-called friend. Alani is missing. And
you guys, listen to me. We are in a ugly world. Stop thinking that everything that looks beautiful is beautiful. Please protect yourselves and stop being so trusting of anybody other than yourself. I started a series called Friend or Foe because I'm trying to get this out here. These people that you may hang out with, oh, I done met this new girl, she's this, she's that. That's the one that's trying to take you out. You in a car, you got 5 friends, they ride in the back, you driving. I promise you, one of those friends is looking at you side-eyed. People, we are in a horrible world right now. Trust no one, you guys. I'm sorry. Trust no one. If someone can take out Jesus, you don't think someone can take you out? Are you serious? Come on, you guys. Protect yourselves. I don't want to be sitting here doing a story on someone that is a subscriber to this channel. I don't want to be the one that has to report your demise because you're walking around life with these rose petal glasses on in this day and age. Let's keep going, you guys. I'm so passionate about this, and I love you guys. I love all of you guys, and I appreciate you guys for supporting me. I'm almost at 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I just pray that this channel continues to grow because we are here to speak the truth. We're not hiding nothing, sugarcoating nothing. The devil comes to do 3 things: kill, steal, and destroy. That's it. So your battle is not your family because the devil don't want family. Your battle is against him. Get your family together and say, listen, we are not the problem. The devil sees that we are powerful together. He's trying to destroy us. So come together and let's pray and let's worship God and let him enter into our home so we can get this devil out. Come on, you guys, open up your eyes to what's going on in this world today. I don't want to be here doing your story. All right, you guys. So let's continue. So become a part of this Viral Crimes with Jocelyn family. When your family, I promise you, you're going to be getting stuff in the mail. Ask my followers. They getting t-shirts and water mugs and all free at this channel. We're not trying to make no money. We're trying to get out awareness. We're trying to grow. We're not trying to make no money. I don't need y'all money. I'm good. Let's keep going, you guys.
Her response is to refer to her as a stupid bee. Though it was never publicly announced, it was discovered that Alani was an exotic dancer. Now, I wanted to add this component because I feel some details surrounding her occupation contain vital information pertaining to this case, and thus subsequent details will make more sense. You may also find that it helps with being able to better theorize what may have happened the evening of July 30th. Atlanta is known for its civil rights history.
We will say between the 30th and the 31st because we don't know what happened. She arrived on the 30th, but after that, nothing. Okay?
Prominent hip-hop scene and is home of popular brands like Coca-Cola, CNN, and Delta. But to many people, Atlanta encompasses a culture of its own, unlike any other city in America. Nightlife is a big part of ATL
It really
culture,
is.
and the
I'm in the
biggest
ATL. It
contribution to
really
nighttime
is.
entertainment comes from the strip clubs.
Yes.
Though they are most prevalent in older cities on the East Coast, you'll find at least one strip club in most major cities. Only 13 U.S. cities have more than 5, with Atlanta being one of them. Natives attest that stripping in Atlanta is common because it doesn't carry the stigma you'll notice in other parts of the country. Because of this, many young women are attracted to the occupation for various reasons, primarily because the money is fast and there's a lot of it.
It's not just about going to see people do acrobatics or go make money. There's so many aspects that contribute to Southern culture when it comes to strip clubs. And I feel like strip clubs was the catalyst for...
I will say this, you guys. These girls can dance. They can dance, you guys. Let me tell you something. They make their bodies do things. that people that when they what they call them, like they in Vegas and they doing card tricks. These women can make their body do card tricks that make any man want to go down there. But guess what, you guys? It's only a handful of them that can do that. And don't get caught up in it, because it's not real life. It really isn't. So let's keep going, you guys.
Believe it or not, pushing what everybody knows now as lemon pepper wings. DJ Esco, who was the
lemon pepper wings
at Magic City, which is a strip club that's a few blocks down the street where my alma mater is. He was talking about what they call Magic City Mondays. So me and some college friends used to go there way back when on Mondays, and didn't realize that was like a thing until DJ Esco talked about it. And believe it or not, some of my classmates actually worked at Magic City, whether there were strippers or the cocktail waitresses or working behind the bar as barbacks. So, it helped them throughout college, and then, they garnered, income.
Listen, I am not against a man going on and going down to the Durham Magic City. Listen, let me tell you something. If your man going to cheat, he going to cheat, ladies. It is what it is. But he can go down there and look. It's all good. Listen, it's all fantasy. And if you know it's fantasy, it's fantasy. They look good, but guess what? They be having a lot of other stuff going on with them that you may not want your man down there. They may look, baby, go down there and look, but don't come home and bring nothing back that you ain't leave with. That's that security. At this age, I'm crossing over to 60. Listen, I may not have good knees, have a lot of good other things though, you guys. But let's keep going with this. I'm trying to have a little fun with this. Listen, it's the weekend, and we're just trying to have a good goddamn time right now, while bringing awareness on the viral crimes of Jocelyn channel, you guys. I love you guys. I love my family. I love the community that we are building on all social media platforms, you guys. Let's keep going.
There, so it was a revenue stream for them as well.
Atlanta has deep roots in the hip-hop industry, and its strip clubs are known hotspots where aspiring rappers and entertainers make names for themselves. It's arguably a major part of the culture. So the fact that Alani was attracted to the lifestyle is not surprising. What's unfortunate, though, are the risks that come along with it. It's a dangerous playing field.
Really is.
And what I found to be interesting was the amount of criminal activity surrounding two clubs Alani was allegedly affiliated with. One of them is no longer open. On April 7th of 2022, just 3 months prior to Alani's disappearance, one of her good friends whom she worked with posted in a TikTok that she'd been assaulted while leaving work. In it, she shared a photo of her badly bruised face from the attack. The caption read, "Be safe leaving work, ladies. People follow you from work and you never know. I'm currently recovering from getting robbed and beat." Alani responds to this post with,
I will tell you guys this. These women need more people that love them, because, like I said, I used to go out when I first moved here, and I had a group of fellas that would not take their eyes off me if they was blind. I promise you. So the fact that these women could leave and that this is their job and they have nobody to protect them or to love them, it's scary. What the hell? And I was only out there at MJQ just doing the jig, that's it. This is sad.
And I deserve that.
29-year-old Nicholas Hendrickson of Conyers, Georgia, was charged with disposing of Alani's body. But how?
Oh no, what did we miss, y'all? Let's go back. Hold on. Listen, you guys, one day I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all go on to I have another channel that's called These Criminals Are Crafty, which is a full studio, not just my talking head. So you'll see why I'm like this because there's monitors everywhere. So we're going to go back over here and I'm going to pull it back a little bit because something we must have skipped. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel, you guys. If you're on TikTok, double hit that screen. Get us out into the algorithm. Get it out there, you guys. It is what it is. We need to bring awareness to what is going on out here for these women, our young children, our daughters, our everybody. So hold on. So this is the luxury apartments on 1660 Peachtree Street. Hold on. Then listen, the apartment ain't the problem. It's the people that are allowing in that's the problem. So don't say, oh, I'm not going to rent this apartment because, nah. Ask them who lives here. Do your due diligence on who lives in this apartment complex. Hold on, let's keep going. This is Fox 5 giving us the real. Hold on.
Apartment complex in late July. Atlanta police say these two men, Stephen Oboite and Diante Reynolds, face a number of charges, including felony murder, and now a third suspect, Nicholas Hendrickson, has been charged for his role in helping them dispose of her body. Lenoir's mother, Jeanette Jackson, tells Fox 5 she was somewhat relieved to learn about the arrest, but not surprised there was more to the story.
I'm not shocked because it never felt like, oh, an accident or, oh, you know. It never felt like that to me.
According to Fulton County court documents, Oboite and Reynolds provided Lenoir with opiates that night inside the apartment. Investigators believe when she showed signs she was in need of medical attention, the two men avoided calling 911 in an effort to cover it up. The indictment goes on to say Reynolds secured a lease on that apartment using a fake name and identity.
Now you're backtracking, trying to say she did this to herself. Well, I'm going to say to you, if she did, then why are you guys running?
Where is her body? Where is it? Where's her body, you guys?
Why is there a fugitive? Why won't you tell the police where she is?
The court documents say Hendrickson helped the two men move her body and lied to investigators when asked if he
move it where?
Alabama on July 31st, the day of the alleged crime. Hendrickson is not facing a murder charge.
I want the same thing I wanted on July 31st. Where is she? And I deserve that.
29-year-old Nicholas Hendrickson of Conyers, Georgia, was charged with disposing of Alani's body. But how? How was she removed from the apartment into any transport vehicle? And what exactly does surveillance show? According to court records, Diante and Stephen gave Alani opioids, and when she needed medical help, they failed to get it for her. As a result, she lost her life on their watch, and instead of calling for medical help, it looks as though they called Nicholas. Nicholas' social media footprint is just...
You know, I will say this, and I'm not agreeing to anything that they are saying.
Life summary.
I'm just saying to myself, okay, maybe she had an opioid reaction. They didn't have any Narcan on hand, and she did pass. And maybe there was nothing nefarious behind the whole thing, except the fact that they didn't call 911 and say, hey, this is what happened, because they were criminals. They did have that Oboite. He did have 50 years of probation. These guys were not good guys. So I'm just saying, I'm not defending them, but there's other things that may have happened that caused them not to call 911. As African-American males, they're very afraid. It is what it is. So that's another avenue that we could actually go down. She may have a reaction to the drug that she ingested on her. She did it herself. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, let's keep going, you guys.
It would reveal him to be high on life. Literally. Nicholas smokes and Nicholas does drugs. Period. What's even more eerie and sad about this entire situation is that back in 2014, he retweeted a post about Relisha Rudd, an 8-year-old girl from Washington,
I did that
DC,
one.
whose story went viral when she went missing while out with a family acquaintance. Yet, here he is today, charged with the aiding in the disappearance and concealing the murder of a young woman. Hendrickson's charges were tampering with evidence, false statements to authorities, and hindering the apprehension or punishment of a criminal. But the charge I really want to highlight is the second one. Allegedly, Mr. Hendrickson lied to the investigator who questioned him about his whereabouts on July 31st. According to his indictment, he lied about traveling to Alabama. The million-dollar question is why? And with such a delicate matter at hand, I feel the answer to that question is highly important because we have a woman who is still missing, and now we're looking at the possibility of multiple jurisdictions. And speaking of multiple jurisdictions, where are the feds? Shouldn't they be involved at this point? According to criminal defense attorney Micah Schwartzbach, who also serves as the legal editorial director of NOLO, a web liaison for consumers and small businesses seeking legal representation, a crime can violate both state and federal laws in one of two ways. For example, a crime might occur partly on federal land and partly on non-federal land, giving the state and the federal government jurisdiction, as with the current controversy with the Daniel Robinson case concerning...
But exactly, when you think that that would have given more attention to Allahnia, if it crossed... Now, I don't understand how Peachtree Street and Midtown in Atlanta cross the border of the federal and the state. I don't get that. So hopefully we can learn from this case right here with this young man.
A 24-year-old young man who went missing from his work site in the Arizona desert. Allegedly, his vehicle was found on federal land, and he's yet to be found. The second example is this. A crime might violate a state law such as a murder, but as soon as the defendant moves the body across state lines, a federal crime has been committed.
Okay.
This gives possible jurisdiction to not only the other state, but the federal government as well. So if perhaps Alani's life was taken at the hands of one or more of the three suspects, and Nicholas did in fact dispose of her in Alabama, he committed crimes in two states and under federal law by crossing state lines.
This is the same knucklehead who has 50 years of probation. Come on, you guys. Stop being so blind and stupid. This guy, 50 years of probation, and all of a sudden he ends up into this girl's life where someone is saying there's trafficking. Now this guy is out with his friends and they come across this young... Stop being stupid, everybody. I'm sorry. This rose petal glasses where everybody's running through the darn flowers. It's false reality. Don't be a victim like this young lady was.
Stay tuned because I will be digging into that part a lot more. And I don't have all the answers, but I'm willing to do the work to find them. Growing up, I often heard the saying, your 20s are for making mistakes. And reflecting back, though I had some of the best times of my life, I made plenty. Then I came across a quote by Ann Basharis that read, I look back on my 20s. It's supposed to be the prime of your life, the most vital, the most beautiful. But you're making critical decisions.
That's right.
Sometimes your most critical mistakes.
That's right.
And with that last sentence, a piece of my soul will forever resonate. Alani.
You guys, she said something so right. Stop thinking because you're young, you can make these decisions, because these decisions may make your end. So like y'all all know how I end my show. And it's with a prayer for the family. So in the name of Jesus, we pray for Allahnia's family. We ask that you comfort them, Lord. Put a hedge of protection of peace around them so they can get the answers that they deserve. And we ask that you find her remains and you bring her home. Lord, we ask that you keep these stories on the Viral Crimes with Jocelyn station and keep them alive, because we have to get these stories out here, Lord. Do not allow them to fall to the wayside. So give us the words that we need to keep them going, God. So please comfort her family. We ask that you also bring peace to the assailants, and that they find God in this whole midst of this mess. In the name of Jesus, we pray. So I always try to end my channel with that, because without God being the forefront of your life, it's nothing but turmoil behind it. So don't ask yourself why your life is not where you want it to be. It's because you don't have God where he needs to be. So you guys, thank you for joining us on this journey today. We did almost 2 hours on this young lady, Aliana. So we're going to put her name up, her picture up one more time. Here she goes. This is Aliana. She passed down in Midtown Atlanta, you guys. They have not found her remains yet. So just continue to pray for her family, that they do find her so they can get some rest and peace, you guys. So until next time, there's another story coming that you may not have heard, but we're bringing it to you on Viral Crimes with Jocelyn. So thank you guys, and be at peace.